Hi Chapel Hill Middle Schoolers, it's Mrs. Sweeney. Hey, I have some really great ideas for you to get outside, notice what God is doing right now. The whole earth is just bursting forth with beauty. And so I've got some really great activities for you to take outside and work with your phone. I've got some simple rules. There's 3 simple rules on how to take a good picture. If you are a 7th grader, I want you to pay attention because this will come into play for your poetry and photography assignment, which is coming up with Mr. Anderson. I'm out here at the Carver Park Reserve. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. And I kind of walked upon this beautiful scene. The first rule of photography, which is one of the most basic ones, is the rule of thirds. So if you imagine that your viewfinder has a grid snapped on it. By the way, you can snap your grid. There is a function to snap a grid on your camera, and it divides the space up into 9 equal squares. There's one place that you don't want to put the most interesting thing, or the horizon line, and that's right in the middle. So if I was taking a picture of this beautiful scene right here, I love the fact that the horizon line could be above the middle horizon of the plane. I'd put it a little high. Now here's a really cool tree off to the side. Rather than taking a picture of that tree and putting it right in the middle, put it off to the side, the right or the left, and make it more interesting. So when you think about your viewfinder and the plane of your camera, just find an interesting composition by placing interesting things like the horizon or a tree anywhere but the middle. That's the first rule of photography, called the rule of thirds. Let's keep looking for some more good ideas. Okay, second rule of photography, pretty simple one, sometimes hard to find, but it's called the leading lines. Now we're out here in nature, and nature sometimes provides really awesome leading lines, like a creek, a path, a tree. We stumbled on this little arrangement of rocks, which I think is a great example of leading lines. So if I was taking a picture, I would use these rocks and use them to point to something interesting, maybe that tree, or something beyond that leads your eye through the visual plane to something really interesting. These rocks are great. Another idea would maybe to do like a path. We're coming up on a road here. Sometimes a fence line, a tree line. It can really be just about anything. But finding something that just creates the visual path through your photograph to something interesting is called leading lines. Great use of photography. Let's talk about another one. All right, here's another idea. Using your camera to find something interesting, like a close-up, is a good idea. So look at this really cool pine tree. Look at the texture and all the really neat details that you can see on just one branch. Zooming in on that and letting the background kind of be fuzzy is a really interesting point of view. So creating interest in your pictures is really important. Here's another idea. You could take the picture from a worm's eye view. So looking down like this, I'm gonna let the camera do the work here. If Tatum wants to take the picture looking up, that's called worm's eye view. Another idea would be bird's eye view. I don't have a total opportunity to do that right now, but looking down at something. So creating an interesting view, creating interest in your picture by focusing on something close up and something far away, or just looking at it from a different perspective is another great way to take an awesome picture. I got one more idea for you. Hi middle school kids, so I got one more idea for you. This is something called forced perspective, and it's really fun. You need a few people to kind of help you out. I've rallied Cameron and her dad, my neighbor Cameron and her dad, to do this one. So here's how it works. You place someone really far away, and then you place someone really close. And then you create the illusion that the person who's really close, who's the smaller person, is holding the bigger person in her hands. So Cameron's gonna raise her hands up and make them really flat, and she's gonna create the illusion that she's holding her dad.
Perfect.
Way in the back. That's something called forced perspective. I'm gonna send a whole bunch of pictures and ideas for you to try. This is super fun. You can do it with your friends and your family. It's fun to do it outside. You need a little space, you need some people, but it's super fun to try. I'll send some pictures for you.